Hi. I don't know whose crazy idea this was, but but let's go for it. I hope you are feeling well, and I'm not seeing many. Oh, I have two people linked in this morning. Hopefully, the rest of you will catch up with the hour change and and be able to join us. And if you're joining me later in the day or in the week, great. You can pretend that you did it at 7 o'clock in the morning or half seven. We are now. All right, so let us get ourselves set up. You're going to want to get your weights and your tights or band, a resistance band, if you have it, and if not, you don't need to use them. You can just go without it this morning, whatever works well for you. Okay, so we're going to come back onto our mat. And we're going to start in child's pose this morning, just to give ourselves a few moments to settle. We're not going to stay there for too long because it's early. Sometimes when you go back to the ground after waking up, it can be difficult to get yourself back up out of there. So we'll take our time, bringing ourselves down onto the knees, working your knees hip width apart, hands in front, and easing back. The class this morning, so I'll talk a little bit while you bring yourself back into your child's pose. You can allow your head to drop to the ground. Give yourself a moment or two to settle in, to feel out your breath, to listen to your body, to see how that feels this morning, to see how you're doing energetically, emotionally, and giving yourself a moment to check into the body, to the mind, to the energy, to the breath. And use that awareness that you have gathered now from this checking in to inform how you practice today. So what do you need from your YoFit practice today? Stay where you are, keep your head down, listen to your breath, feel out your body. This practice this morning is aimed at those who have been doing the YoFit practice for now into this is the 4th week. So the exercises will be familiar to you, and we will add new layers to it, add additional excitements to the practice this morning for you. It is the YoFit original class, it's not the power class. So that's the level that we're working at. If you are new to this practice, go back a few videos. Don't begin here. Okay. And then slowly taking your time to lift the head up and look forward towards the hands at the front of your mat, and slowly begin to draw your chin in towards your collarbones. We'll take a moment or two here just to think about the neck, moving the head forward and back, just lifting up and down as if saying yes. Keep the shoulders down as you do this. Feel this movement working all the way through the spine, right down to the tail. The whole of the spine working as you just move your head and neck. That weight of the head brings extra tension and relaxation through the spine. And slowly now looking forward, begin to track the shoulders over the wrists, lifting the hips up over the knees and working feet out so that they're behind the knees. At this point in your practice now, you'll know if your monitor is in the correct position for you to look safely at the screen. And if it isn't, maybe pause for a moment and change the monitor. So taking your time, make sure that you don't need to twist your neck as I'm doing now to look at the screen. I'm just doing this so that you can see me a little better. We're going to push into the hands when you're ready, when you're back on the mat, gripping with the toes and round the spine, looking towards your belly for angry cat. And then release the spine down, working the chest forward, your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Push into your hands around your spine, looking to your belly. Take your time, breathe through these movements, taking your time, rounding and releasing. Good, working the pelvis, tilting it forward and back. Well done. Working into the head and the neck. And then from your next angry cat shape of spine, looking to your belly, try to hover your knees off the mat, looking back towards your belly, trying to lift your upper spine between your shoulder blades. And then see if you can track your shoulders over the wrists so you're not pulling back into a diagonal. Breathing here. And then slowly easing your hips high, working your heels down towards the mat. Work your gaze to look towards your belly and stay in this downward dog position. You can close your eyes, sensing how it is to put your body in this position. Feeling strength and length in downward dog. Have a look at your toes, maybe raise all 10 toes off the mat, working the heels down. Have a look at your hands, make sure that your fingers are, your middle fingers are pointing straight in front of you, and press firmly into those fingers that are really spread on your mat, and then looking back towards your belly button. So feeling the upper spine rounded a little bit, then pushing forward to the front of your mat, and then feeling your sit bones pushing down to your heels. Then raising your heels. Now this time we're not going to go immediately forward, we're going to practice our upper push-up, our plank position, because this comes into the practice quite a bit this morning. So trying to keep the shoulders over your wrists and push your heels back towards the back of your mat. Work your chin in. Feel like your ears are working up just above the shoulders there. They're not working down. The head isn't working down underneath the shoulders, and the upper spine between the shoulder blades is lifting up towards the ceiling. Good. Breathe here. Feel like you can push the crown of your head forward towards the front of your mat, the sit bones and the heels back. So if your mat was made of paper, you'd be able to rip that mat between your hands and your toes. Breathe. One more breath. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees and take your time to slowly, slowly, slowly crawl your thighs in towards your belly. So this is quite different to how we usually step forward. Thighs right into belly, knees into chest. Your hands will be slightly forward of the toes. Stay there, strong belly. Then work into your heels. Sit down into your chair pose and raise your arms up so your upper arms and your ears are in line. Breathing there, sit a little deeper. See if you can raise all 10 toes off the mat. Sit a little deeper. Good. Push down and spread the toes onto the mat and come all the way up to standing. You can reach the arms up above the head and then reaching the arms down. Good. Rotate the wrists for a moment. Take a little breath or two. Have a little smile to yourself. Give yourself a well done for deciding to practice this morning. Have a little flick out of the fingers to get those wrists nicely energized. Interlace the fingers and rotate the wrists around. And in the opposite direction, give them a good old stretch out. Well done. You might need a little sigh for yourself. Okay, let's go into our chair pose. Starting our sun salute. Our forward fold, belly to thighs, hands to the ground, head down. Step the right foot back as far as you comfortably can. If you've been doing this all this time, which you have been, don't overthink it and don't go to the next pose. Take your time with it. So really slowly. Right hand down, left fingertips to left shoulder and twist belly, chest and shoulders. Reach that left hand up towards the ceiling and stretch out the back leg. Now, if it's too much, leave the knee to the ground. Bend the top elbow, fingertips to shoulder, move the head, move the elbow, move the hand. From here, we're going to go straight into the open lunge and press up. Opening up the front toes, walk the left hand in. Take your time, spread the fingers really wide, maybe raise the back knee or leave it down. Bending the elbows out to the side, you can turn the fingers in a little bit and feel like you want to kiss the mat, but without taking the head beyond the shoulders, so keeping the chin in. Good, breathe. Keep pushing the back of the head up towards the ceiling. Push into the hands, straighten those arms, Rotate the fingers in, rotate the toes in of that left foot. And this is prep for the froggy jumps and squats that we're going to do. Raise the back knee off the mat and step back into upper push-up. Good. From here, hold that plank again. Chin is in. Feel like you want to rip the mat between the hands and the toes. Face feels like it's parallel to the ground. The nose is parallel. You're not moving the head to look forward. Breathe for one more breath. Lower to your knees or stay off your knees. Squeeze your elbows. Hover in your half or full press up and release down onto your belly and your chest. Reach your hands far forward. Pause there. Stay on your toenails, on your thighs and on your knees for the first round. From here, we're just going to lift the arms up off the ground and balance, hovering there. Again, trying to keep the ears level, not lifting the head to look forward, not allowing the head to drop down either. Trying to lift the neck and the shoulders together. One more breath and lowering the hands down. Hands crawl underneath the shoulders. Push into those hands, round your spine, lift back up through angry cat, raise your knees, and then come back into downward dog. Breathe. Halfway through the front, first sun salute. It feels good. Raise the heels off the mat, bend the knees, move the shoulders forward. This is quite different to the one we did in the warm-up. Walk the feet forward one at a time. Feet right up towards the hands. Good, a little forward fold here. The backs of the legs and the lower back should be feeling a little warmer now. Good, bend the knees, sit back into your chair pose. Raise the toes for a moment. Lower the toes, come all the way up to standing. And release. Second half into the chair. Breathe. Forward fold. Good, bend the knees. Stepping the left foot back as far as you can go. Knee to the ground or knee off the ground. Pause there. Plant the left hand down and twist to the right. Belly, chest and shoulders. Twist a little further if you can. Bend the top elbow, fingertips to shoulders. Move the head, elbow and hand. And then straight into that lunging press up. So open up the front toes. Working the hands, turn the fingers in a little bit, bend the elbows and hovering the head off the mat. Good. If the back knee needs to drop, absolutely do. Breathe. Without lifting the head or the face first, keep the face parallel, push into the hands, straighten the elbows, turn the toes in, walk the hands in, raise the back knee and step back into upper push-up. Breathe there. Let's hold this upper push-up again. Breathe. Good. Ribs are in. Face is parallel to the ground. The upper spine and the back of the head are lifting up towards the ceiling. One more breath and back to downward dog. Breathing in and out. Good. Back into your upper push-up. Well done. Holding that position, not holding your breath. You can choose to go down onto your knees or stay off your knees as you come into your press-up, Chaturanga. And then lower right down onto your belly and chest. Release the toenails. Hands come in front. This time we're going to keep the hands and the head and the chest down, but just lift the feet up. So lifting the toes, the tops of the feet, the knees, possibly the thighs, and breathe without squashing your back. One more breath. In and out of the nostrils. Lower the feet, the arms, the feet, the knees, the thighs, hands underneath the shoulders, push into those hands, rounding the spine, and right back into downward dog. Raise the heels, bend the knees, shoulders move with you, walk the feet up, sit into your chair, and come to standing. Flowing a lot more now, okay? Enjoying this, we're going to go through it, have a little smile to yourself, give yourself the opportunity to really explore these movements this morning. Offer yourself a well done, slightly smug sun salute now, because you've got yourself here and you're doing this for the right reasons. Okay, you had the choice to get out of bed and you did. Okay, at any time of the day or week. Into your chair for those that are catching up. Into your chair, forward fold. Step the right foot back behind you. Right hand down, twist to the left. Good, swing it around and down. Open up the front toes. Turn the fingers in a little bit, bend the elbows, down into your press up. Straighten the elbows, turn the toes in, hands down, step back. Hold the upper push up Then lower down into your press up, lower to your belly and chest. Hands come forward. Now we're going to do arms and legs together. Lifting the arms, lifting the legs, hovering the face, not moving the chin out. Lower down, hands underneath the shoulders, grip with the toes, round spine, right back to downward dog. Raise the heels, bend the knees, move the shoulders forward, the head looks forward and step or jump forward. Back to your chair and immediately down again. Good. Bend the knees a little, left foot back, lower to the knee or off the knee, twist to the right. Lower around and down, turn the toes out into your press up, on the knee or off the knee. Turn those front toes in, step back into upper push-up, hold the position. Lower down into your press up, lower to your belly and your chest, release your toenails, hands come in front, hover for a moment, lift the legs and the arms, no pinching in the back, strong buttocks. Lower down, hands underneath the shoulders, squeeze those elbows in, hover right back up and into downward dog. Raise the heels, bend the knees, move the head forward and shoulders with you. Jump or step the feet up into your chair and all the way to standing. Give a little shake out. Okay, I think we're ready to begin. Have a little wipe down or a drink of water, whatever you need to do. I'm going to get my timer ready. So as usual, you know the score. We're going into 20 seconds of HIIT, 10 seconds off. Alternating exercises 4 times for our HIIT. Then we're doing strength exercises, 20 reps, twice, and then a yoga recovery pose. And then we do those, that's 3 different sequences of that same set. So 3 different sequences of exercises with the same rhythms as we go through. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start at the back and work our way up this morning and see how we're doing for time. If I need to leave one out, I will. Okay, so we're going to start at sequence 3. We're going to bring ourselves into that plank that we were prepared for, have a little stretch out of the wrists and a little shake of them because there's a lot going on here. I'm going to go sideways on my mat. You make sure just that you can see the monitor, that you don't need to twist your head. Okay, so hands on the ground. Into your plank, working your chin in, your ears feel like they're lifting, the backs of your ears feel like they're lifting, the back of your head feels like you're lifting. You're certainly not letting your head down to smell your mat. And in fact, imagine that your mat is really stinky and you're going, keeping away from it. Okay, ripping the mat sensation between the hands and the feet. And we're going to just hold this for 20 seconds, beginning now. Just that, a static plank hold. Breathe. This is easy. Breathe and smile through it, saying to yourself, I've got this. Yeah, you're well able to do this now. Well done, breathe. Staying with it. Well done, that's enough. Onto your knees and right back into child's pose, releasing in the spine. Allow the head to drop 10 seconds here. Rotate the wrists if you need to. If you want to take the backs of the hands onto the mat, the knuckles onto the mat to have a good stretch out there, you can in your recovery. Make sure your neck is feeling okay. And then crawling the hands forward, moving down onto your belly. And we're going into our sky drivers. So hands are in front, reaching out as far as you can. And let's try both arms and legs together. If that feels like too much, or if it felt like too much in the warm-up, you break it down. You take hands, arms first, and then legs next. Okay, 20 seconds, let's go. Make sure you can breathe. Make sure you can feel that your breath is moving into the sides of your belly. There is movement happening there. Good, you're pushing, feel like your sit bones are pushing back to your heels. Try not to turn your toes out. Try to work your big toes in towards each other and the fronts of the thighs towards each other. Good, the timer is off. We breathe out and lower down. Hands underneath the shoulders, around the spine again. Have a little wiggle on your way back and back into child's pose. Breathe, 10 seconds and take 5 more. Good. We're going to add some movement now to the plank, moving the hands forward, pushing the heels back, and work the feet together now. So the big toes are touching, draw the chin in, and we're just going to step your feet, your right foot out to the right, bring your left foot to meet it, left foot back to the middle, right foot to meet it, left foot out to the left, right foot to meet it, right foot to the center, left foot to meet it. Okay, 20 seconds. Begin now. If that's too complicated, do your own thing. Okay, right foot out, left foot to meet it, left foot to the middle, right foot to meet it, left foot out, right foot to meet it, right foot to middle, left foot to meet it. Fast now. Step out, step in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. A little dance here. Good. Make sure your ribs are in. Make sure your sit bones are pushing back, and then it's all over. Knees to the ground. Back into child's pose. Rotate the wrists. Releasing in the spine. Breathing happily. Moving the head up and down, and then moving back into your skydiver pose. Lowering down, hands in front of you. Working the feet back. Taking your time. 20 seconds. Beginning now. Breathe. Lifting up. Good. Chin is in. Try not to stick the chin out. Good. Breathe. Enjoy this floating sensation. Make it effortless. Make it joyful. Breathe all the time. Lifting up a little higher. Balancing there. Good. And releasing down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Push into the hands around the spine. Right back into child's pose or downward dog if you feel like downward dog works better for you. Well done. Okay, the next one in our plank 360 is going to be stepping out to the right and all the way to the left. Baby steps, so tiptoeing right and left. As fast as you can, just right and left to each side of the mat. Let's go, 20 seconds. Good, chin is in, breathe. Tiptoe, 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 tiptoe. Ribs are in, good. Lifting, keep that bum down. Lifting through the front ribs. Breathe. Good. Push back with the sit bones towards the heels. Good. Spread the fingers wide and rest to the knees. Right back into child's pose. Breathe. Big belly as you breathe in. Small belly as you breathe out. Release the hips back to the heels. Rotate the wrists. Okay, moving skydivers now. Coming forward onto your belly and onto your chest. Hands move forward. And we're just going to lift up and down. When you're ready, continue to breathe and smile. Let's go up and down. Don't let the head come before the arms, so keeping them in line. Feel like there's an elastic band between your ears and your upper arms. You're keeping them together. Work the inner heels out, the big toes together. Continue to breathe as you lift up and down. Good. Feel a stretching and lengthening sensation between the toes and the fingers, and that's it. Hands underneath the shoulders. Reach back into child's pose. Have a stretch out for the spine or downward dog. Good, we're going to do that tiptoeing plank position again as fast as you can now. Just going to the edge of your mat and to the edge of your mat, no further. Ready? Good, ribs are in. Push into the ground and go. Right and left. I think I put on my timer, yeah. And breathe. Breathe, 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 breathe. Good, drop the bum. Ribs in. Good, lift the chest. Keep going. As fast as you can, and knees to the ground, back into child's pose or downward dog. The heart should be working well now. Should be feeling a little bit of heat in the body, or a lot. And then back into our skydivers, our moving skydivers all the way to the ground. And when you're ready, let's go up, down. Breathe. Keep going. And rest all the way back into child's pose or into downward dog, taking your time. Well done. Okay, from here we're going to go straight into our strength now. So taking your time, easing yourself back into your downward dog, have a little walk out, stretching out the backs of the legs, raising the heels and bending your knees. Good, stepping or jumping both feet up in between the hands, sit into your chair pose and all the way to standing. Roll the shoulders, release the neck, working it from side to side. Well done. Okay, so we're not working into any weights at the moment for these exercises. We're just going to sit back into our chair pose, come into our forward fold, step back with the right foot as far as you can. I'm going to turn it in front because it might be easier for you. Turn the left toes out, so as we've done these in the warm-up, so you're well able for these, and raise the back knee or keep the knee down. And you mightn't be well able, but you're familiar with them. The fingers are turning in ever so slightly. I'm reluctant even to give that instruction because sometimes then when I say turn the fingers in ever so slightly, we get a big rotation. Just an ever so slight rotation of the index fingers in, and then spread the thumbs out as wide as you can. We're going to bend the elbows and work down and just trying to keep the face not moving, the face and the head not moving beyond the shoulders, so trying to keep them in line. Good. Let's try another 7, 6. If you can raise the back knee, do 5, 4. Use the arms. 3, 2. Last one. Slowly lifting up, turning the fingers out. Pause for a moment. Turn those front toes in. Step back into upper push-up. Pausing there for a moment. Well done. And now we're going to take the right knee to the ground, the right elbow to the ground, and then swivel out with that left foot. Breathing there. Good. If you can, lift the left hand up towards the ceiling. Just see how that goes. Breathing happily there. And if it's okay, you can cross that inside foot over the outside foot and breathe there. Good. Well done. If you feel really okay, we might try to drop the hip up and down, just feeling that out for yourself, but not letting your shoulder into your ear. Let's try another 5, or just holding it. 3, ribs are in. 2, chin is in, and 1. Good. Lowering down, slowly rolling around back onto all fours, pausing for a moment, and then stepping the right foot forward, up in between the hands, turning the toes out, and then a little inward rotation, spreading the thumbs as wide as you can, bending the elbows and lowering down and up. Breathe through it. If you can take the back knee off the mat, do. Continue to breathe, hover, 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 and then pushing back up. Just feel that sensation of rebounding back up as you push into the hands. Good. 7 more. 6, 5. Try not to let the knee roll in and out as you do this. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good. Turning, lower the back knee, turn those front toes in, pausing for a moment. Step back into upper push-up, and then we step the left knee onto the mat, not too far forward. We work onto the left elbow, and then we swivel out onto the right foot. You can breathe there, or you can stack the left foot on top of the right. Just see how you go, breathing happily there. Good. Well done. And then if it feels okay, only if the foot is stacked, you can drop that inside hip up and down, just to get the balance, that sensation. We're not going into the full exercising movement of it, or just that sensation of holding up. Good. Lifting up really from the inner waist. Try not to let your head drop. Good. Keep your chin in. 1 more breath. Well done. Lower the inside knee. Slowly, slowly roll around. Pause for a moment. Have a little wiggle of the hips. And then we're going back to the first leg, taking the left foot forward, turning the left toes out, turning the fingers ever so slightly in. Take your time, knee off the mat, and we're going 10, 9, breathe through it, 8, little smile to yourself, 7, make sure you're not looking forward, 6, 5. Just imagine the bones of your neck and the back of your head and the upper back all being drawn up towards the ceiling all the time. 2 and 1. Good. Turning those front toes in. Step back into upper push-up. Breathe for a moment. From here, if it feels okay, without stepping the right foot forward at all, try to roll out onto the left hand and onto the onto the right hand, and to hover onto the baby toe side of the right foot. Just see how that feels now for this morning. If it's too much, you can cross the top leg on top and just hold out here, breathing into that. Well done. Good. Next week, we're going to add the leg raise to this. The outer leg raise. Good. 2 more breaths here. And slowly, slowly lowering down, stepping back into upper push-up, and then taking the right foot forward. Turning out the right toes, fingers in a little. Good. See if you can turn the toes out a little wider, open up through that hip a little more. And we go 10, 9, breathe through the nose, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, pushing back up through the index, knuckles and thumbs. 3 on the push-up, really feel that. 2 and 1, breathe. Turning the front toes in, step back to upper push-up. Then we're going to try to swivel out onto the left hand, onto the side of the left foot, and hold the position. Don't hold the breath. Good, feel like your upper shoulder blade is coming back towards your lower shoulder blade. Good, breathe. If it's too much, the top leg bends in onto the ground. Breathe there. This is strong. Make sure that your ears aren't dropping towards one shoulder. Good. Slowly, slowly taking your time to roll around. Lower to your knees. Big breath out and back into child's pose. Rotate the wrists. With the elbows on the ground, now just take your fingertips together and see if you can allow your head to drop, lifting those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Breathe there. Push down into your elbows. Press the elbows into the ground. Just recovering here. Good. Slowly releasing the fingers forward. Move the head forward. Shoulders come over the wrists. Okay. So our yoga recovery pose is quite a funky recovery pose. It's a progression from last term in YoFit. So really take your time with this if you haven't done this before. Some of you might have done YoFit before, but you haven't done the last season. So just don't overthink or overdo this position. Okay, so we're going to come into upper push-up. Take your time. We're going to step the right knee up and let it hover for a moment, and then twist it to the left. And then see if you can step that right foot out to the left. That's intense enough for most people, so no need to go any further. If it feels okay, you're going to hover the left hand off the mat. Pausing there, you can take your left fingertips to your left shoulder and open up a little, and then swivel out the left toes so that the left foot comes flat on the mat. Good. Reaching the left hand up towards the ceiling. That might be enough. Breathe there. And if you know how to go a little further, you might want to do it now. I'm not even going to instruct it. Good, because I don't want you twisting your head. Breathe. One more breath. Good. Bend both knees. Pause for a moment. Bend the top elbow. Moving around, taking your hand to the ground. So that's a really intense spinal twist. And then step back into upper push-up. Good. Knees to the ground. Have a wiggle right and left. Well done. Let's go to the other side. So you're going to step hover the left knee forward. Pause there. Twist it over to the right. Pause there. And then maybe stretch out that leg. So you're getting a really intense stretch through the outside of the left leg. Stay there. If it feels okay, from here, the right hand will lift up. That's not too much, yeah? So just stay with that. Breathe. And then if that feels okay, you work out, open out the back toes so the foot is flat. Good, breathing there. You can bend the knees a little. Good, hang out a little bit there. You can go a little further if you like, but don't have to look to see what to do. If it comes naturally, go for it. Good, bend the top elbow, fingertips to shoulder, move the head, slowly roll around back into that twist, right hand down. It's a really strong twist for the side and waist. Step back into upper push-up, onto the knees and back to child's pose. Have a good breath in and out for yourself. Easing back into the hips, maybe moving the head, maybe rotating the wrists. Breathe. Well done. Have a little drink for yourself. Have a little wipe down. We're going into our second set now. Okay, for this one, if you have your weights and your band at the ready, and if not, don't worry about it. Okay, so we're going to do 4 sets of our chair squat. So the chairs are the ones that we do usually in our sun salutation. Okay, I'll add some variations. Just take your time. Your feet can be together or hip width apart, and I'll talk them through them for you. Okay, when you're ready, sitting down, back into the heels, lifting the upper arms in line with the ears. Try to keep your balance. Try not to let the knees roll out. Continue. Get a little more speed. Get the arms moving. So you have a little bit of ventilation in your room. Air conditioning, self-generated. Keep going and rest. Good. Hands to the hips. Circle the hips around. Maybe releasing the shoulders, maybe working the head from side to side. Well done. Maybe a forward fold if you need it. Okay, and then from here, we're going into our chair twist. So hands together, feet together, a little closer if you can. We're going to bend down into the chair position, twist to the left, and then straight back up to the ceiling. Twist to the right and up to the ceiling. Just be careful here that you try to keep the knees tracking in line so they're not pushing right or left. Continue as fast as you can, 20 seconds. Good, sit the hips right back into the heels, maybe raise the toes if you wanted to get that feeling a little further, working in the bum. Good, feel the twist through the belly, the chest and the shoulders, move the head with you. Good, but don't let the knees go right and left. Good, and rest, circle the hips, roll the shoulders, that's set 1. Well done, a lot going on here in the glutes. Okay, back into your chair position. Well done. Now this time we're going to raise the heels and sit back into the heels as fast as you can, 20 seconds. Good, you can lower the hands and raise them if you wish, finding your balance. If you want to sit a little deeper and come back up, all the way down. Good, breathe. You can do this with the heels on the ground, of course. Continue smiling through it. Find your breath, and that's it. Good, circle the hips. Good, roll the shoulders. Good, back into our chair twists, taking your time with it, exactly the same. And let's go. Twist right, lift up, twist left, and up. Good, breathe. Really try to find the twist now. Twist a little further each time. Good. If you wish on the lift up, you can raise the heels just for an added variation. Good. Well done. Rotate the wrists, circle the shoulders, breathe. Good. Good. Back into our squat. So sitting into the squat, this time up onto the heels or a little jump. So let's go. 20 seconds. Breathe. Add the jump if you feel okay. Just watch that the knees aren't rolling in and out. Good. Feel the chest lifting and then sit down into that squat. You can go right down, heels off the mat, but let's not let the knees fall out. Good. Keep going. Good. Circle the hips. Breathe. Maybe forward fold. That's our third one. Well done. Into our chair twists. When you're ready, exactly the same as before. 20 seconds. Twist right, lift up. Maybe raise the heels, finding your balance. Good. Breathe. We'll be adding a new variation next week. Good. Sit a little deeper, drop that bum all the way down. Feel the weight going back onto the heels. Good. And rest. Circle the hips. Final one. Good. You might need to stretch out the thighs a little bit. Good. Back into your squat, adding the jump if you like. And off you go. Breathe through it. Sit deeply into it. Try not to turn the toes out. Breathe through it a little faster now. Whoop. Well done. Good. Breathe. Take it all in. Sit a little deeper. Jump a little higher. 2. Good. Circle the hips. Well done. Okay, this time going into the chair, but we're going to try to lift the right hand up towards the ceiling as you twist to the right. Back to the center. Good. So you're just going to try and get the arms out as you do this. Good. Let's go. 20 seconds. You can come back all the way up to standing or forget about it. Just go right and left. You're trying just to get the elbow a little further beyond the thigh, stretching out the opposite arm. Good. So it's a one-armed twist. Good. This will lead us into the variation for next week. Good. Sit a little deeper and release. Good. Strong bums. Maybe give them a little massage. Good. That's them all. Well done. Circle the shoulders, release the neck, and then we take a vinyasa. So into your chair, into your forward fold. Step back, both feet back into upper push-up, lower to your knees. Press up, down, release down onto your belly and chest. Hands in front, pause there. Raise your legs off the mat, pause there. Toes, knees, thighs. Now raise your arms off the mat. Lift your ears to join your arms, your upper arms, breathe. Slow the breath down. Release everything, hands underneath the shoulders, push into the hands around your spine. Right back into child's pose or a downward dog if it feels better. Give yourself permission to recover well after those high intensity exercises. Well done. Hands move forward, right back into downward dog, stretching out the backs of the legs. Step or jump both feet up into your chair and come to standing. Okay, let us take the band to start, and we're going to go into the shoulder press. The lat pull down to start. Okay, so working your feet, your heels to the edge of your mat. If you're on a mat like I am here. Okay, toes are turning out. Now they're not turning out to the extreme. They're not turning out to the right and left wall. They're in a diagonal still. Okay, you're going to bend your knees and try to let your knees follow the second toe. Find that squat there and sit back into it. So you're not letting your sit bones push all the way behind you. You're not letting them pull all the way in front of you so that the shoulders are pulling back and so that you're tightening through the front of the groins. You're letting the sit bones drop down towards the mat, towards your heels. That'll keep the natural curve in your lower back. Okay, so taking your time, lifting the arms up above the head, finding that squat for yourself, and just seeing that the band is that you're holding the band at shoulder width apart, or even a little closer than shoulder width apart. So when you pull down, you want to pull down at shoulder width apart and pull the band as wide as you can, but squeezing in the shoulder blades and then lifting back up. So we're going to straighten the legs, straighten the arms, and then bend the elbows and pull in. Good. Take your time here, try to get the technique right. You don't need to move your head out of the way as you're pulling the band. Don't do that, don't cause any strain, and try to keep your front ribs pulling in. And again, that same instruction for the sit bones. They're not pushing behind you. So sometimes as we go into this, this is what we see. We don't want to see that. Good. We want ribs in and pulling down. Good. Let's try 7 more. 6, 5, pulling down, squeezing. 3, 2. I went from 5 to 3 for some reason. Let's try 2 more. Last one. Well done. You have a little stretch right and left. Good. And releasing down. Okay, let's take our weights when you're ready. Bend into your left knee and foot, raising your right heel off the mat, and then lifting that right foot off the mat for this morning, lifting the elbows up, and we're just going to hover here. Now, if at any time you need to drop the toes down, do. So we're punching up to straight arms, pulling back down so elbows and shoulders are in line. 10, 9, 8. You can bend into the standing leg as well. 7, 6, little smile. 4, relaxing the face with that smile. 3, 2, and 1. Good, releasing down. Let's do the other side straight away because we have the technique. It's in our heads. Bend the right knee, bend the left knee, toe heeled off the mat, lifting up. So this is your 40th rep now. And we go. There's 20th. 10, 9, 8. That's on week 8. 7, 6, pull down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Pulling the weights to the heart. Release, circle the shoulders. Okay, going back into our lat pull. Turning the toes out, raising the arms up. Make sure that you have the wrists in the right position. When you're ready, bending the elbows and pulling down. Keep the chin in. 10. Good. All the way down. 9. Not sticking the chest out. 8. A little deeper. 7. Try to keep the wrists pointing up towards the ceiling. 6. 5. The knuckles. I meant 3. So you're not letting the knuckles forward and back. 2. Last one. Hold it down there if you can. Breathe. Slowly lifting back up. Good. Have a little circle of the shoulders. Coming back into the balance with the press. Okay, when you're ready, bending the knee, both knees. And if you wish this time, maybe foot off the mat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. If you want to add a little kick, do. 4, 3, that's where we're going. 2, we will add on. Last one, good. Weights to the chest, release down. And we go to the other side. So 5 with the balance, and then 5 with the kick. 10, if it's too much, toes to the ground. 9, pull down. 8, 7, 6, 5, now a kick. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Weights to the chest. Good. And then taking your weights to the side of your mat so that you have plenty of room. Roll the shoulders back into your chair pose, into your forward fold. We're going to recover in a deep, long stretch. Stepping the right foot back behind you, knee to the ground. Good. Now release onto the toenails. Okay, from here, with your fingertips on the ground, with your toenails on the ground, and the knee on the ground to start, we're going to try to, in this deep lunge, so your sit bone, your front sit bone is dropping a little lower than your knee to start. If you can take your fingertips to the ground, do, and then try to raise that back knee and shin off the mat. So you're going to feel a stretch through the inner right hip there to start. Breathe into that. Well done. And release. Good. From here, sitting back into that back knee, gripping with the toes, backs of hands together, and raising the arms up. Okay, we're going to hold on to the right wrist. A twist in front here.
Hold on to the right wrist, lift that right shoulder blade a little higher and reach over to the left. So again, you're getting the stretch through the side of the body, right down into the right hip. Breathing there. Now that might be enough for you, so just stay with that. If you felt confident in the previous position, and it's very, very strong, you're going to try to raise that back knee and shin off the mat as you reach to the left. Now if that's too much, forget about it. Grip with the back toes, continue to reach over to the left, and then raise the back knee up. Just see how you go. Good, you can just leave your knee on the ground is enough. Try not to twist to the left. It's as pure a side bend as you can make it. Slowly up with the hands. Good, reach both fingers up, rotate the wrists, lower them down, circle the shoulders. Forward fold, raise the back knee, step back to upper push-up, and then we swap legs. So right foot in front again, taking your time. Good, knee to the ground, fingertips to the ground, and a slide over lunge. So you're dropping the front hip a little more. You try not to let the knee go beyond the ankle, but you are trying to drop that front hip a little further down. Breathe into that. Working into your fingertips, then onto the back toes, toenails, and knee, and then see if you can hover for a moment. The back knee, shin off the mat. Breathe. Lower the knee, grip with the toes, slowly easing yourself upright, raising the arms up, holding onto your left wrist, push up a little higher, breathe there and make sure that you're not twisting. Good, open up the side body, breathe. And then if it feels okay, release onto your toenails. Stay there, and if that feels okay, possibly dropping into the front hip, raising the back knee. Again, if that's too much, stay just gripping with the back toes. Reach over to the right, maybe raising the knee with the gripped toes, but keeping the front hip dropped as much as you can. No pain in your back. Breathe. Lower that back knee, reach up towards the ceiling, rotate the wrists, lower down, a little shake, forward fold, press that front foot back into the mat and reach back into child's pose. Continue to breathe in and out. Good. I thought I'd have time to do all three sequences, but obviously not. Okay. Breathing calmly in and out through the nostrils. Well done. So we're going to take our time with our Chandra Namaskar now this morning, just to feel nicely stretched out. I think that's plenty at this early time for those of you that have joined us. If you haven't had enough, of course, you can go back and add maybe the 30-minute practice to this now, leave out the Chandra, and then come back to this if you wish, if you're catching up with the class. Okay, so slowly easing ourselves forward onto our bums, taking your toes to the ground, hugging the thighs into the belly, dropping the shoulders, and just starting out by feeling the breath moving in and out of the nostrils. Feel your belly working towards the thighs and away from the thighs as you breathe in and out. Trying to find your balance and trying to settle into this position as much as you can. And then you might like to wrap the arms behind the thighs, holding onto your elbows here. Keep your neck long, your chin in, but without bowing your head forward. And begin to soften as much as you can into the legs, into the shoulders, into the arms, the spine. Feel weightless and effortless in this position. Soften in the face, in the forehead, between the eyebrows, in the corners of the eyes, in the jaws, in the lips, in the throat. Use this to recover well in the nervous system, in the breath, in the thoughts, and in the body. This is a recovery pose. And then opening your eyes gently, releasing the arms from behind the legs, and we're going to take the middle and index fingers and slowly reach towards the big toes and see if you can hold on to the big toes, gripping there. Starting out by bending your elbows and pulling your thighs back towards your belly. Good, keep your chin in, you're not sticking it out. Breathe there, bending the elbows. So we're hovering. If it's too much, of course, take the heels back down to the ground. I'll move to an angle so you can see. Bending the elbows, pulling the thighs back. Good, so a little bit of a rounding here for your spine. Then seeing if you can straighten those legs as far as feels comfortable, and then you can straighten the elbows. And if that feels okay, if you're nicely balanced, maybe moving the gaze and the head up towards the ceiling, but keeping those shoulders down, working your toes back towards you, your heels up towards the ceiling. Try not to twist your head, keep your shoulders down, breathe. If this is okay, you're going to try to open up the legs, but you might need to bend your knees to do this, so take your time with it. If you can keep them straight, do as well. Transfer your weight ever so slightly forward. Feel like the heels are anchoring down, and that will keep you balanced. Shoulders are down. Slowly begin to draw the legs together again. See if you can take your left hand up towards the ceiling and reach that left hand out to the back of your mat. Good breathing there. Keep your right fingers where they are, or you can wrap around the left toes as well. If you wish, you can stretch the feet ever so slightly to the right to get a stretch through the outside of the left leg. Good, reaching that left hand up, back towards the left big toe, and then we swap over, right hand reaches behind us. Of course, you can bend your knees. Of course, you can take your heels back down on the ground. Good, you can have both heels on the ground, and you can twist into a regular twist that we practice rather than a balancing twist. Back up with that right hand, swiveling around one more time. Take a breath in and out. Good, slowly bending the knees again, and now we work the knees out to the side, soles of feet together, breathing here. Well done. Hovering for a moment, working the outside of the feet, the baby toe side of the feet onto the mat. Try to lengthen up through the front of the body, lifting up in the chest, pushing down in the sit bones. See if you can open up through the groins, working the knees down towards the ground. Shoulders are down, neck is long, chin is in, pushing the back of the head towards the back of the room. Breathe. Now we're going to try to bend the elbows, taking them into the crease between the thigh and the calf, and slowly working your chest towards your feet to start. We're not rounding. Bending the elbows, keep those shoulders down, breathe here. And then we try a rounded position, working the chin in. See how this goes. No strain through the neck or the head, though. If it feels like it's straining, move the chin out. No pulling through the spine. Slowly stay looking down as you ease yourself up, lifting your spine up, pausing for a moment, sitting tall, working the knees towards each other. You can take the hands to the outside of the knees to help you with this. And then placing the feet hip width apart onto your mat. Walking your hands behind you. We're going to pause for a moment, stretching out these wrists for a moment. This is a reverse plank. We've done a lot of plank today. So shoulder blades coming together. Good. And then slowly shoulder blades separating, fronts of shoulders rolling forward. So just trying this 3 times, rolling forward and back. 2, 3. Good. Allow the shoulder blades to come together again. Push into the heel of the hand. Breathe here. Push into the feet and see if you can let the hips hover off the mat and work the hips forward towards the backs of the knees for a moment. Good. Lower those hips. Let them slide back and pause. Just feeling that hovering action. From here, we're going to go into a raised leg. So you're lifting the right foot off the mat and placing the outside of the foot on the thigh. Opening up that right hip, breathe there, pushing into your hands. But that might be enough. We're trying to get a nice stretch out through the right bum. Now, you're not going to get a huge amount of a stretch here in this position, but if you push into your foot and try to find heaviness through that right knee, press into the left foot, you can get a stretch through the right glute, and then you can get strength through the left quad. Breathing into it. pressing into the hands. If this feels too much with the hovering, you can come back into your traditional glute stretch. You can sit upright, holding on to your shin instead. Breathe. Well done. For those that are hovering, slowly lowering your hip down. Good, hugging that right thigh in and release. And then we go on to the other foot. So lifting the left foot, taking the baby toe side of the foot onto the thigh. Pause there, push into your hands, breathe. Open up the shoulder blades. Good. You can allow your hips to hover forward, push into the right foot and open up the left, breathe. Lift a little higher. Feel an opening through the groins. One more breath. Slowly lower down, hover back. Good. Hug that left thigh in and release. Good. From here, we're going to reach the hands forward, rotate the wrists, maybe interlock the fingers. Good. And then slowly lower to lying down. So feel like you're reaching the hands forward and at the same time pulling the spine down. Keep the chin in. Good. And slowly lower down onto your back, onto the back of your head, hands down. Working the heels a little closer to the hips, feet stay hip width apart. Have a little wiggle here, working your sit bones towards the backs of the knees. Pausing there, shoulders dropping down out of your ears, sides of neck long. Good. Push down into your feet and then trying that hovering position again. Feet pressing down, fronts of thighs lifting up, hip bones lifting up towards the ceiling. Make sure that there's absolutely no discomfort in the neck. Good. Reaching forward with the fingers, lifting the thighs up, lifting the hips up. Your front ribs are pulling in. Good. Staying here. Try not to let your thighs and knees roll out. Instead, feel like your inner heels are rolling out to the edges of your mat. If it feels okay, you might like to take your hands underneath your back or interlocking the fingers underneath the back and roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Good. Your front ribs again staying in. So really nice stretch out for the shoulders. And we've done a lot of shoulder work today, wherever you are in your day. Push into your feet, lift your thighs. Good. Release the interlocked fingers, roll those shoulders out again, and then hover, lowering down. Good. Hug both thighs into belly, releasing in the back. Have a good old hug there. Slowly lifting the head up, directing the nose towards the knees, pushing the back of the head back at the same time as you work the chin in. Slowly lower the shoulders and the head, hands to the ground, just lifting the feet up towards the ceiling. Admire your feet for a moment, just giving the legs a break, giving the lower back a break, a little rock right and left. Reach the hands up towards the feet, pause there for a moment, rotate your fingers, rotate your wrists. Good, a little ragdoll action here now, so bending your knees a little bit, feel a heaviness in your lower back, feel the shoulder blades dropping down, pause there, take another breath in and out. And then ever so slowly on a breath out, as if in slow motion, bending the knees, bending the elbows, lowering down into the feet one at a time, lowering down into the arms one at a time. Keep the neck long, the chin in, stretching out the legs one at a time, reaching the fingers down towards the toes so that the shoulders drop away from the ears, the neck is released. Work your chin in. You might need a little wiggle in the buttocks. Close your eyes. Breathe in and out of your nostrils. Feel an inflation in your belly as you breathe in, big and full and round like a balloon. And as you breathe out, that air gently releases from the balloon. All the way to the very end of the exhale. And then breathing in again, slowly, big, full and round. Hold the inflation for a moment if you can. And then ever so slowly with control, letting the air out. Right down to the very end until there's no more air. And again, big and full and round, holding the fullness of air in the abdomen. And then letting it out slowly. All the air out to the very end. And then allowing the breath to settle in the lower abdomen. Visualize or sense the skin between the belly button and the pubic bones. And allow the movement of breath to settle there. Continue with this breath. Allow the awareness to move to the crown of the head, to the forehead, the eyebrows and eyes, the cheeks, the nostrils, the upper and lower lip, the chin, softening and releasing in the whole of the face. Down to the throat, the collarbones, the shoulders, the whole of the arms, down into the wrists and fingers, back up the arms, down over the torso, the chest, the rib cage, the upper back, middle back, the abdomen, right down into the lower abdomen, the lower back, into the pelvis, the groins, the hips, the legs, right and left, all the way down into the ankles, the feet and toes. Releasing the whole body, releasing in the whole body, and resting for a few more moments with the breath. And ever so gently and kindly reintroducing movement to the body, back to the toes and the fingers, back into the wrists and the ankles. No rush, take your time with this. Transitioning back gently, trying to keep the nervous system balanced and undisturbed. Bending at the knees and the elbows slowly, sensing the body as you introduce movement again. Drawing the thighs into the belly, working into the hips, wrapping the arms around the shins, working into the shoulders. Massaging the spine by gently swaying right and left. Lifting the head up and gently massaging through the upper spine. Crossing the ankles, kicking the feet forward and rolling yourself up to sitting or rolling to your side first. Pausing for a moment in an upright position and giving yourself permission to sit for 30 seconds. That's all it is. Pushing down into your sit bones. Pressing your shoulders and elbows down. Lengthening in your spine and your neck, in your head. Chin is in. Finding your breath for the last 10 seconds. Allow a smile to gently grow on your face.
Offer yourself thanks. You have given yourself permission to move today with everything that is going on in your life and in the world. You have made the choice to bring yourself into joyful movement, finding strength from within. And how lucky you are, how lucky we are to be given this opportunity. And in that offering of our own look and ability to move this morning, we acknowledge and offer anyone else in the world that is unable, that doesn't have the choice this morning, that is needed to support and look after the rest of us, the rest of our community and society, those of us that need to be working right now, need to be supporting us to keep us healthy and to keep us safe. So with this moment of reflection for ourselves, we offer it out beyond ourselves and give thanks and give respect kindly to everyone else who's holding us together, holding our community and our world together. Well done, each and every one of you, reaching your arms out wide. And for those of us that are practicing this morning, experiencing this great big gesture of an embrace for each and everyone in the world and for each other. Great big hug, pat on the back. Well done. YoFit. Thank you all. Have a lovely day.